Hi everyone, it's Keisha. I will be discussing domestic violence and mental health in women. I won't go into too much detail because I want to get into the research and I want to let you guys know about the methods and the about the research itself. But domestic violence is daily. It's occurring daily and it's worldly. It doesn't discriminate who it wants to, you know, go after. Any cultural, any background, anybody. It doesn't discriminate. But my research actually be about abused women and women that are in the women protective services. And the women protective services is basically centers where they house abused women and children. It's a place where they can feel safe and learn and grow and become self-sufficient. So basically, this research will focus on the contemplation stage of Petrarca's trans-theoretical model of change. Basically, the question that's going to be asked is, sorry about that. Let me get down to there. The question is, does the level of Petrarca's trans-theoretical model of change attained by participants predict their level of success upon exit? Basically, what we want to find out is how the women exited the program and how successful they were. Did they leave with money? Did they leave with the intent of buying a house for their children? Or did they leave just because they didn't want to be there anymore? So, so the participants will be about 35 women from the Women's Protective Services. And what will happen is they will sign they will fill out a sign up sheet, letting them know when they will be available for to meet with the interviewers. And basically, when they decide on a good time to meet up with the interviewers, they'll go into the interview and they'll fill out a questionnaire. And after they fill out those questionnaires, they'll be placed into um, groups. The questionnaire is basically it's basically just going to bring to light the background of where the women have come from, basically their childhood, if their parents or if their dad was abusive to their mom, basically things like that. And then as far as the interviews, they will be interviewed and it will go into detail about the abuse that they're actually going through. So basically, it will tell how the attacks usually occurred and the extent of the abuse, how long the attacks lasted, and how physical it became. And the interviews as well as the questionnaires will help to determine what group the women will be placed in. So basically, these groups, the first group is ready for change, and then the second group is focused on negative symptoms, and the last group is focused on feelings of guilt and shame. So the first group, ready for change. Basically, these women are ready to do whatever it takes to um, improve their life and to make a better life for them and their children. And then the women that are focused on the negative symptoms are basically depressed and they are really down on themselves. They just are not in a good place with themselves and Basically, they're just blaming themselves and they're just looking at the bad part. They're not looking at what can I do to make this better for my children. And last but not least, the feelings of guilt and shame. These women are the cutters. These women are the drug addicts. And basically, these women are just looking to cope. They're not really looking to deal with their issues at the moment. They just want to cope and they just want to feel something different other than the abuse. These are also the women that feel guilty about calling the police when they are being abused. And they feel guilty if the spouse goes to jail. So, and that's where that is. And the main purpose of this study is to examine change and growth in women. We want to observe how far these women have come to the realization that they are bigger than the abuse that they have endured. You know, you don't have to be what the abuse says you are. You don't have to be weak, and you don't have to let that determine who you are. And then after the 6 to 8 months checkup, hopefully these women will be gone and on their way to better their lives. If they are not gone, that's okay. That's not a bad thing. Individuals learn and grow at different stages in life. The real factor is where her thinking is. And the goal of this study is to get the women to become independent again, giving them the opportunity to get out on their own. If they're not quite there yet, then we'll continue to work with them and get them to that level. So some of the questions from this research is, like I stated before, the main question is, does the level of Prochaska's trans-theoretical model of change attained by participants predict their level of success upon exit? And then when the participants exited the program, did they exit with enough funds to take care of themselves and their children? The program sometimes are able to provide residents with home to move into. When the participants exited, did they have a house to call home? Final question, when the participant left, did they leave with a purpose or did they leave because they did not want to be there anymore? Basically, the same thing that I just reiterated just now. We just want to figure out where the women are mentally, and we want to, make sure that they are able to leave on their own and be able to make a better life for themselves as well as them children. There are some limitations to this study, and the limitations required, they included the sample size because the sample size was a little small, and we had to go on, basically what we had to work with. And then the lack of trust from the participant. Of course, these women have been abused, so it's not a guarantee that they're going to trust us and give us the full hard-on experience that we are needing for them to be open with. And then basically another limitation is just basically, just filling out the questionnaires, not really giving thought to it, not really putting your all in it and giving honest answers. So that could really hurt the research as well. And then another one of the limitations that was really interesting to me was the fact that there was only one interviewer, and because there was just one interviewer, it does not allow other opinions or recommendations. So, and that's what I got. And then of course this research needs to be significant to counseling. So how I saw it was, our world has become more corrupt and our lives are becoming more subject to danger. The events of the world are driving individuals mad. There are many factors that can tie into the occurrence of domestic violence and intimate partner abuse. This study is important because there are a lot of women that are enduring daily abuse by spouses, parents, brothers, and even grandparents. These women have endured so much that they are afraid to let anyone know, in fear of the consequences that could happen. Women need to know that it is okay to have a voice and be able to speak up. The model of change allows me to see where these women are mentally. It allows me to see where work needs to be done. Of course, every case is different, but there is hope for change. And there is hope for change. And I really do hope that we can help some of these women that are being abused. That's my passion, and I do want to speak up for women. So hopefully one day I will be able to do that. Thank you so much for listening to my research, and I hope you have a blessed day.